Hey everyone, welcome back for another episode of Real Talk. So everyone, welcome back. I am Adrian.
Daniel.
And I am Rob.
So we are fresh back from San Diego on our trip. It was a fun trip, but it's been a very hot Labor Day weekend. Rob, how have you been beating the cool?
I've been staying inside all day.
Beating the heat. What am I saying?
Beating the heat. Yeah, beating the heat. The heat along with the fires. So I've just been staying inside and with the AC on. But right now I'm in my studio and there's no AC. It's a little warm, but so far it's been pretty good. Also, I enjoyed you guys' vlogs from San Diego. It was fun to see.
Yeah, you know what? We missed you. We wish you were there.
Yeah, I wish I was there too, but that darn
it would have been a better review,
work.
but I had to review with this guy. So.
Man, Adrian, man, you better watch out because he's gonna cut you from the show because
I could easily cut you.
Though people may think Adrian is in charge because he is the voice, Danny is actually in charge. So.
I run the brains of the operation.
And he's the brains. Adrian's the talent. Danny's the brains, and I'm the funny. So at least that's what I've been told.
I can't see the Yoda in the background anymore.
Oh yeah, I could kind of see it. I could still see it.
See his ears.
Yeah, ears and an eye.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a fun trip. It was good to just get away.
Yeah.
And definitely was worth the drive. The drive honestly wasn't that bad. It was like an hour and a half, to be honest, less than 2 hours. But yeah, Adrian's the host, but I guess he's just.
Oh,
so, anyways,
wait, hold on. Since Adrian's too busy, I picked up this gimbal last week too, or
nice.
2 weeks ago. I picked this up gimbal, so when we go out and start filming videos and stuff, we'll do it in style.
Yeah, the vlog actually did pretty good. A lot of people liked it, so I was like, honestly,
I didn't get enough subscribers. Hey guys, why don't you subscribe? Just click the button. I mean, come on.
This is gonna turn into why don't we get enough subscribers?
Yeah. Yeah, I just edited a couple clips together, and I just used my cell phone video, so I was like,
yeah, it looked good. It looked good. It looked fun too.
Yeah.
So we've had two new films coming out this weekend. One on Disney Plus, behind the $30 paywall.
And then Adrian over here always likes to.
I don't like
talk away
like,
from the
right in my face.
Yeah, but then it messes the audio level. It's like me and Rob sound good, and then you sound terrible. Like the last Real Talk was pretty bad as far as audio.
So you're blaming me?
Yeah, I'm blaming
pretty
you.
much
because I sounded
okay.
Yeah, I sounded really good, but you were just way too low, and I had to bump it up a little bit, and my voice was getting a little distorted because I was at normal.
All right,
levels.
duly noted. I will speak right into the mic this whole time. And anyway, I would like to talk about the two movies that came out this weekend. Let's talk about Mulan, which was behind the $30 paywall, and then we also had Tenet, which opened in not all of America, but in the cities that were open, and like for us, down in San Diego, where we went and watched it in a subpar AMC, but
yeah, it wasn't the greatest.
It was not.
Did you watch the review, Rob, or you just
the Tenet review? Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah.
Man,
okay.
I always watch our reviews, man. I am our biggest fan.
Okay,
cool.
You put it on repeat, so that's where all the views comes from.
Yeah.
Huh?
But anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about concerning not just the two films that just came out, but I wanted to talk about the contrast, right, between critics' reviews and fans' reviews. Now, looking at when Mulan came out, it got really high numbers. Rotten Tomatoes score put it at somewhere like 80. And then like Tenet was a bit lower, something like a 73. But then when you look at Audience scores put Milan pretty low, somewhere at like 55, I want to say, but then like with Tenet, it was somewhere around like an 80. Um, and I kind of just wanted to talk about the contrast and the idea of like what we're seeing from film criticism, and is it even valid anymore? And for those of you that are listening that don't know what Rotten Tomatoes is or how it even works, basically it's an aggregate. They take all of they take a lot of the majority of film critics' reviews. Okay, this one's good, this one's bad. They calculate the numbers, and that's how they come up with the percentage. It's not like the website is just, oh, we're gonna give this movie 30 and we're gonna give that movie 100. Like, no, it's they create an average, and then the audience score can, where if you're signed in, you can write your own review, and then you could put positive or negative or however. But anyway, Rob, Daniel, I want to talk to you guys about it. But do you guys use Rotten Tomatoes, and yes or no, and how do you use it, and what are your feelings about it?
Do you want to go, Rob, or me?
Yeah, go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
I still use Rotten Tomatoes, like but for a different reason now. Like back then, I had faith in the critics. I trusted their judgment but this is like a few years ago.
Okay.
I trusted I know you're shaking your head, Rob, but I trusted their judgment, and I was like, okay, this is a good rated movie. All right, I'll check it out. And but I noticed the past year or 2 years, it's been like they're becoming more and more. What's the word?
Sold out?
No, out of touch. Out of touch with reality, everyone's gotten more political. So that I feel like that hinders a lot of critics' reviews and stuff like that. So now I use Rotten Tomatoes to check the audience score, sort of, because there is a lot of people who review bomb, and that can like mess up the rating as well. But honestly, I checked that, and then I also checked YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers, movie reviewers who are on YouTube who I trust. They're not paid. They're not. And I'm not saying like, oh, like every like outlet is like paid. They get paid to do positive reviews. I mean, like they're not. They don't have to answer to anyone. You get me? So like they're their own people. They're their own boss. So that doesn't influence them in any way to like. Because like, oh, like if I give a bad review to a Disney movie, we might lose our access to get early reviews and stuff like that. So that's why I trust more YouTubers, because they're their own boss and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree, there is a huge contrast between viewers, critics and audiences, and yeah, I just go based off of my own experience, and then people, other YouTubers and stuff. But,
Rob, what are your thoughts?
Kind of along the lines with Danny there is I really don't. I only look at Rotten Tomatoes to see, like, if someone brings up Rotten Tomatoes to see, like, oh yeah, it was that. But I don't go to it for, hey, I wonder how this movie did. Let me go check it out. If anything, it's more like how you're talking about Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm like, oh, well, let me go check that movie out and see if what they're saying is actually true. Because, like Danny is saying, I've found, and I feel like this is also true, is YouTubers, certain ones that get, access to screenings, and, they get press screenings and stuff like that, who put out movies. And I've found ones that I feel like I kind of feel the same way when it comes to movies and what they think. Oh yeah. And I, over the years have gone like, oh, they've said this about this movie. I've gone to check it out, and oh yeah, this movie was what they said. They didn't like this movie, and I didn't like this movie, and not because like, oh, I like that YouTuber, so I'm gonna agree with everything he says. It's just more of I've picked and choose throughout the YouTube stream of who I felt like I couldn't relate to most, like has my personality and my likes and dislikes when it comes to movies.
Right.
And not saying I agree with them all the time, but and like you're saying, they're their own boss, so they don't have to be like, okay, well, if we don't give this Universal movie a good rating, then we're not going to be invited back to their early screening. It's, hey, no, this is I'm going, this is what I feel, this is my honest opinion. And so honestly, I feel like
Well,
critics are not so much that I can't trust them, but in a way, it's like they have an agenda and they have other people that they're looking out for, and they represent other people who they might want
Exactly.
them to feel a certain way. So their opinions sometimes may not be as reliable as an independent, YouTuber.
well, yeah, and I think that's the biggest issue. Really is the certain publications they don't want to rub the studios in the wrong way, to where like what you're saying, they may not get invited to the next screening or the next
Right.
And that has happened before with
and I mean I know of certain critics that like that may be harsh reviewers, and they stop getting press screeners. They stop getting invited to certain films because they feel like the studios feel like, oh, you know what, this person always gives us bad reviews, so we're not gonna trust them anymore, right? Um, and so here's the problem though with Rotten Tomatoes. Now, what I use it for is, yeah, I look at the thing. Okay, this is the percentage of people that are saying it's good, and then there's an option there where you actually can see the names and the articles of all the different critics. So I scroll through them, and you can see the different names. But I usually click on the articles that are like critics that I trust, that have been doing it for decades. And recently, and like Daniel, to your point, what you've been saying is what you've noticed over the last year or two is that the quality of it, I guess, to say, so to speak, is has gone down. And the reason for that, now I might get some hate for this, but you know what? The reason for that is because,
just let it all out.
I'm just gonna go for it. I don't care.
Yeah.
The reason for that is that Rotten Tomatoes, they decided to be like have like this sort of like inclusive, how would you say, this inclusive initiative where we needed to make a higher percentage of female critics as well as people of color, which is admirable. But the problem is that you're kind of throwing in people there that necessarily, and it's not because of their gender, it's not because of their race. But what I'm saying is they don't necessarily have as much experience, or they're just very young, and in terms of film criticism. So what I've noticed more of is they tend to like things that are that fit their worldview.
Exactly.
So there's not something that, because regardless, like for instance, like for me, with like the political spectrum I fall on, I've seen films that go against that, but yet I'm still willing to look at it and say, you know what, this is still a good film. I don't necessarily agree with the message, but it's a good film. It's But what I've noticed from a lot of the newer critics is that, it doesn't fit my worldview, so I'm just going to give it a really bad rating, and, I hate it.
Not to cut you, but there's actually a review that I read on The Hunt of the reviewer was actually acknowledging that they didn't see the movie, and he was already saying like, don't go see it, like straight up, like saying don't go see it because, it caters to the right or something like that. And I was like,
yeah. This was like a few months before the movie even came out. I remember seeing that, where they were just like telling people to boycott the movie because based on what they saw, and what they heard,
seen in the previews, they felt like
it was going to lean more. Yes.
It's like, and it's like, how can you tell someone not to see a movie that you yourself haven't even seen?
Exactly.
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the problem we're starting to get into. With these critics and stuff like that, like they're always looking for some, like you said, like if it doesn't fit their worldview or like their agenda, then they're not going to give it a good review. And it could be a good movie, but like you may not agree with it. Like for instance, The Five Bloods, like there was like quite a few of like Trump bashing, like little hidden. It wasn't like straight on like Trump bashing. It was like little hidden messages within the movie
that you can relate to whatever the Trump administration is going on right now and all of that.
Yeah, and then one of the characters is like a Trump MAGA supporter or whatever, and like he's kind of like
I haven't seen the movie, but I thought it takes place during the Vietnam War. So how does that work?
No, there's flashbacks of the Vietnam War.
Oh, it's a flashback. So
Basically,
it's current day and it's going flashback.
basically okay. the premise of the movie is like these old Vietnam soldiers. They're African American, and what happens? I think it was their commander who was played by Chadwick Boseman. He dies in Vietnam, but they go back, when they're much older, like in their 50s, 60s, to retrieve his body, to retrieve his bones, pretty much, so they could bring him back home.
Okay.
And one of the characters is a MAGA. He wears like a MAGA hat and he's a MAGA supporter, and he's kind of like the outcast. Like he's kind of like a little loony. So like I said, it wasn't like straight up like he's like you could understand he has some was it
post traumatic stress.
Yeah. But I just like I felt like why choose him to be like the MAGA supporter, because he goes off the rails and stuff like that, and so like but like I could get past that. Like I said, okay, I totally don't agree with that. Like that's just too much, but it's still a good movie and I enjoyed it. And if it was the other way around, like say like if it was like a Obama bashing and stuff like that, these critics would like straight up can it, even though if it was a good movie. Like I'm saying, so that's what I'm saying. There's like this, like what you said. Like there's like a what do you call it? Like a
they let their world if they let their world views affect their viewing of like cinematic fantasy. I mean, even if it's based on actual events, it is a fantasy world, and we're watching movies.
And again, like for me, it's kind of like, okay, I get it. Like I know who like what you're talking about. I know who Spike Lee is. I know what his viewpoints are, so I can expect that. And our job as a viewer is to kind of like look past our own whatever, and see, okay, what is the message of the film? Was the acting good? Was the directing good? The script good? Were those things good? And go from there. Did everything make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Not did like, oh, this guy supports Trump, or this guy supports Obama or whatever. Therefore I'm gonna hate it. No, it's just it has to be good or not good, and that's it. And I'm noticing more and more of that, and I've been noticing more and more of a trend of a lot of critics like attacking legends in the business, like a Scorsese, like a Spielberg. They hate on Scorsese because he says he doesn't like Marvel films.
Did they attack Stephen King or something like that?
Stephen King because I forgot why. It was some on Twitter, whatever.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, Christopher Nolan, I'm noticing more and more critics are starting to kind of.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm like, why? I'm like, without these guys, the film industry would not be where it's at today, and that's the truth.
Correct, but I'm not saying I agree with any.
Play devil's advocate. I want to hear what.
Yeah, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a little bit here for you guys. So, I understand we have our Steven Spielbergs, our Scorseses, our Nolans, Spike Lee, even like a Spike Lee. They've been around in the business for a long time.
Yeah.
And to your point, Adrian, you were saying like, not so much, I guess, to meet a quota, but also to be, more open. They're inviting more people to be critics from, different walks of life, different nationalities, which is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, again, playing devil's advocate here. Maybe they are, as a group, this new group that's coming up, because there's always those people who are going to be, hey, this is my block, this is my yard, I've been here for 50 years.
Yeah.
But they're going to get pushed out eventually. It's going to be time for them to go. So this could just be the new group of people that are coming in, and this is whether you like it or not, because there's some people who there's some people who
don't like it. No, I'm just kidding.
There's some people who don't like it, but
Rob, I agree with you, and that's true. They were the guys that pushed out the old guys, before them, from the 40s and 50s, from the classic studio system.
It's a changing of the guard.
And it is a changing of the old guard. But I guess my point is, with the new ones coming in, what I've noticed is that there's like almost like a complete almost like lack of respect for them that came forward before them. It's like, I get what you're saying. Yeah, we have a lot of great young talented directors. But like again, I don't know if it's because of like what they represent, like old white Hollywood, and that's why they hate them, and that's why they're coming against him. I don't know, but like I just feel like these guys have created some of the most popular, iconic cinematic films of all time, and will stand the test of time for like the next 100 years or whatever.
We hope, because we won't be here for the next 100 years. You and I and Danny will probably be dead before then, but we hope that these movies stand. But this goes back to my point, is that I'm sure my great grandparents were saying stuff about that in their time, and someone came in and pushed them out and was like it just happens. Yes. Yeah, it happens. It's stuff that happens, and I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, get off my lawn, and that's why I pick and choose people that I'm going to follow and people that I have the same interest in, so I can be like, hey, I don't have to worry about what these critics say. And I know, like, we all know, like, some critics have an agenda, and we know who doesn't have an agenda. And then we also find out, like, okay, like this independent person linked up with this big entity, and their opinions all of a sudden change, or everything they say about this certain brand is good. And we can, like, as people like us, just who love movies and love cinema, and Adrian, you love that old stuff. Danny, I know you love all, as far as like the way a picture looks and the sound, and we all have the stuff that we love and we can notice about movies, and we can see, okay, like this stuff is changing, and the main people, these critics who are doing this and acting this way, and they never give a bad review to this company. We can see that. So what we've decided to do is we're not going to follow them. We're not going to listen to them. We're going to go and find these independent people who are like, okay, I like what he says. He's real. He doesn't lie about stuff because he's connected to this person, or he doesn't make up stuff about a movie, or say this about a movie, or talk bad about a movie because he doesn't like the director, or stuff like that. We find these people who are honest and sincere about the movie because they love movies just as much as us. And we find the people, especially with YouTube, it's easier to find people that you can trust as far as when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, that's just how I feel. Like,
I agree, because those guys, like what you said before. Yeah, I agree with like what you said before. They don't have anybody really to answer to. They're kind of like independent contractors in a way, where they kind of they do their thing. They can say what they want and get their viewers and subscribers however that way.
But I think that's also why the media outlets are dying, and people are flocking more to like the content creators and all that stuff, because they can connect to them. You know what I mean? Like they could.
I think people want authenticity.
Exactly.
I mean, no. I was just gonna say, I thought about some, like what you were saying, Danny. Just even like media, regardless of which way you swing, people in the mainstream, you can't really not so much. I want to say you can't trust anyone, period. But you feel like you can connect more.
You trust me, Rob?
Yeah, I trust you, Danny. I know you're big up there. I trust you. What I'm saying is, people in the media, regardless of what media it is, there's big media that is not always honest, because they have an opinion, regardless of we're talking news, film, music, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you can find someone who just gives you, they don't have to be connected to anyone, but they have knowledge and just gives it to you real and 100, then I feel like that's what and that's why you say that's why media is dying, because they don't give you the whole picture. They give you their filtered version, whereas these more independent people, they don't give you the filtered version. They give you everything, so you can make, okay, well, I like this movie, or I didn't like this movie because of everything they said was honest. So that's just how I feel. I'm pretty sure you guys might feel the same way, but it's just it's how it is.
No, hey, you know what, that's why we're here. We like to give our opinion, and we hope people can relate to them and subscribe. to us.
But
Okay. But yeah,
just please,
guys
subscribe.
that are watching at home, what are your thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes? And what are your thoughts of film criticism? Do you guys follow it? Do you even care? Do you guys just look at a trailer and say that looks good? I'm going to go check it out. Why don't you comment down below and let us know what your thoughts are on this topic. Next thing I wanted to talk about, Rob, was the live action remakes that Disney have just been putting out.
Done.
Okay.
I'm done, guys.
Okay, so for me, I'll go ahead and start. For me, I was kind of at the end of it, after Lion King, I was like, okay. Then I saw Mulan, and I said, okay, Mulan is my last hope. If they don't stick the landing with that one, I'm out.
They broke their leg.
Rob, I'm like you. I am out. I am gone. What is the deal with these live action remakes? I mean, they make billions of dollars, so obviously they're going to keep making them. But why does the art and the storytelling have to suffer? Rob, what are your thoughts?
Here's the thing, Adrian, and I hope we don't lose subscribers because we don't have that many. But let me just say a few things. So when it comes to the live action remakes, and I said this in our Mulan review, these aren't for us anymore. They're not making these movies for us. They don't care about our classics. They're doing something else, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with change. I'm okay with trying something different. But the thing that I feel, and maybe okay, I'll just say it, and then you guys can take it how it is. I feel like a lot of the older Disney movies, maybe there were certain things in them that just don't fit the times now, and they need to change them. But we're so used to those older Disney movies and what they were, and the journey of these characters, regardless of certain things that may be acceptable or not acceptable in this day, they were part of the person's journey. Because in when you look at like these movies, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I think like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can relate to that. And part of the oppression or the being like the main characters, being pushed down is something that endears you to the character and to the movie. And I feel like the movies nowadays, they can't have that. They can't have, someone being torn down too much. Or they have to suppress stuff, but they're really this amazing individual, and nothing can stop them, and nothing can come against them. And it's just when you do that kind of stuff, for me, it's just like, it just puts me to a point where I'm like, okay, well, where's this person's journey? If they were always up here and pretending to be down here, there is no journey. It's just always up here. So you don't get like that roller coaster, which sucks you into a movie where Adrian, you probably have a better word for it than I do, but
know what I'm talking about. It's just not relatable. You know?
There you go.
Because we, as just average human beings, none of us have superpowers. None of us have anything. But when you
I do, just so you guys know, I have superpowers.
But when you show that journey, right, you feel like you can put yourself in those shoes and experience that journey with the character. Right. Like, man, they struggled to get to a certain point. Like, even if it's like someone who's struggling to become super powerful, obviously in real life we're not going to become super powerful, but what is one thing that everybody in the world has in common is a struggle. So like, at least we understand that, like, okay, there's an obstacle that I need to overcome. And that's something that is universal, that everybody can relate to. But when you kind of remove that and make the conflict about, well, you're already there, you're already fine, it's just everyone else around you is just a hater, then, like, I don't know if that's necessarily the best message for to share with young people, to be honest with you, because then it kind of almost creates like a lazy mentality. So like, if someone says something negative towards you, it's like, oh, well, they're just a hater, like, or whatever. It's just there's no, I don't know how to describe it, but
no, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
So I think that's the problem with, like, what you're saying with a lot of these live action ones. It's they're playing it safe. They don't want to do anything new or original. And like I said in the Milan review, I can commend them for not doing a shot-for-shot remake with the new Milan, But the problem is that the story just really suffered. Like they didn't do anything interesting to kind of keep me engaged throughout the film, and I think that's the biggest problem. Is you know, it's like I don't know that they understand how to treat these films other than doing shot for shot remakes, and I think that's why they do it. Well, if we can, and I know what you're saying, Rob, about like how well they're just not for us.
Yeah.
I don't want to disagree with that, but at the same time, it's totally for the people that grew up in that animated era, because those are the ones that are going to take their kids to go see it. They're the ones that are living, so they're cashing in on the nostalgia. So they're just kind of
that's what it is.
If we make it live action, hope nobody notices that it's the exact same thing, then
Well, yeah, I mean, what it is sorry, and I don't want to cut you off, Danny, but I'll just say this. What it is they're gonna get us in, and the chances are that we have kids. Not unfortunately, I don't have kids, so they're only getting me for a little bit. But you, Adrian, with your kids, and Danny with your kids, and you guys are like, hey, this Disney movie that I really love they're remaking it, and it's live action. Let's get the family and let's go. And they got you guys. So I feel bad for you guys. They got you guys.
Hey, that's where you're wrong, because I haven't really taken my kids to go see any of these Disney movies.
Well, yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, because it's because you're a mean father.
I just wait till honestly, I just go watch them in theaters by myself.
Yeah, I know.
See if they're any good.
I'm with you, or I'm with
and
you.
And then like whatever, and then we'll wait till it comes on Disney Plus and then watch it there. I mean, I'm not gonna. That's the way I do it, because I mean, honestly, there's nothing that makes me feel like I gotta go take my kid to go see this on the big screen, because none of them have been worthwhile. Like honestly, in my opinion, the only really good live action film was The Jungle Book, and it wasn't a shot for shot remake. They changed some things, but it was really cool to look at. It was exciting. It was fun. And they did change it up a little bit. So, I liked it a lot. But, outside of that, what other ones were really good,
Hold on. I did like The Jungle Book. I thought Cinderella was okay. I thought I was watchable.
Yeah.
And I liked Beauty and the Beast. As much as you may not like it, I enjoyed Beauty and the Beast, even though the singing wasn't as great, but these actors aren't singers. But I thought it was pretty good. I will say I enjoyed Beauty and the Beast. I enjoyed Jungle Book, and I enjoyed Cinderella.
Okay. Fair enough. Daniel, did you like any of the live action? What are your thoughts?
I don't really like any of them. I mean,
there we go, straight to the point.
It's because because if you have a choice between the live action ones or the original ones, I'm 10 out of 10 times I am going to watch the original ones. Straight up, I think they're just cash grabs. I know you guys are kind of like fighting over like, oh, it's not for me or it's for you and then for them, but honestly, I think it's for no one. It's just all there just to cash grab. Yeah,
take our money.
Yeah, and then people
because the Disney machine has gotten so big.
Yeah, people.
That Disney can literally take a dump on the screen, and people are like, "We gotta go see it."
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I mean,
pretty much that's.
Well,
what
you
it
know
comes
what,
down to.
and Disney, I know everybody likes to preach, "Oh, Bob Iger is so amazing, and he did like all these great things," but let's be real here. Since Bob Iger has taken over, like, how many original movie pictures have there been? They've all been, these live action remakes, the Marvel films when he purchased Marvel, Star Wars. I think there's been like a small handful which have been like the Disney animated films like Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen and Moana, but that's about it. And those films were good. Actually, and those films were good. The Moana and the first Frozen, anyway.
I disagree.
And the first Wreck-It Ralph, but those films were entertaining, very good. But outside of that, like,
I disagree.
Everything else.
Oh wait, hold on, Danny. You don't like any of those movies?
You mentioned Moana. What else did you mention? Moana. I like Moana.
The first Frozen.
No, I don't like the first Frozen.
You like the second Frozen?
I didn't watch it, but I could tell it's stupid. So it's like,
it was really. It's not very good. At all.
But they got a catchy song, "Into the Unknown."
That's lame.
No, that song is annoying. Actually,
however, I will say Frozen the first Frozen has really good music. Like the music's really really good. Other than that, the movie's stupid.
Lost in the Woods is the best song from the second Frozen.
Whatever.
Come on, you don't like when Kristoff sings that song?
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I can't really, I have a problem with it. I just think like they need to, like what Daniel's saying. Yeah, obviously they're a cash grab, but they need to at least put some effort into it. Because
they don't.
I know, but okay.
Maybe I'm asking too much.
Well, I'm gonna compare it to NBA 2K and Madden. There's no there's no effort. There's no reason to put effort
because
into.
People just put the money.
People just
buy
it
every year.
Yeah, they buy it every year. So it's like, why are they gonna waste resources into something when
that
they know
people are gonna buy no matter what? They don't have to. Yeah. Because it's Disney.
Did you buy NBA 2K this year?
I did. I bought the Kobe. No, but the reason why, honestly,
he bought the Kobe one though.
Yeah. I bought the Steelbook edition.
I mean, I'll give
rest
you
in peace, Kobe.
Yeah,
I'll give you a pass on that one.
It's an exclusive Best Buy edition, so I picked up the Steelbook.
Nice.
They were hard to come by, so I got lucky and I found one all the way in San Diego because there was none over here. But there was a few in San Diego, so I was able to pre-order.
Not only did he watch a movie, but he also got his hands on a special limited edition.
I was when you posted that picture, I was wondering. I was like, did he pick it up before he went to San Diego? Because that's dedication right there.
No, there was luckily there was a Best Buy close to where we're staying, like 10-minute drive, and yeah, and it was a little Best Buy, and that's probably why it looked like secluded, it's like you just drive and it's like, oh, it's right there. So that was probably so that was probably why I was able to find a copy of NBA 2K because
that's
they didn't.
Funny.
Well, hey guys, why don't you comment down below and let us know what you think of the Disney live action remakes? Do you feel like they should stop making them, or do you feel all the opposite? You love them and you'll keep purchasing them and buying them and going to go watch them every time they come out. We want to hear your thoughts, and let's get the dialogue going. One last thing I want to talk about is, I feel like I need to touch on it, is the passing of Chadwick Boseman, who played his most famous role is T'Challa as in Black Panther, and yes, Wakanda forever. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts on the actor and his passing, and Rob, why don't we start with you?
Okay, this is this is a heavy cloud you're bringing upon us right now.
I know, dude.
I'm sorry.
You honestly should have mentioned it in the beginning.
No, it's fine. So I know, because I thought about mentioning this too before Adrian said anything. So here's the thing: is his I didn't watch, what was it, 42? I didn't watch
Jackie Robinson film.
Yeah, the Jackie Robinson film. I didn't watch that. I known him from Black Panther and Civil War. I know him as the Black Panther. And here's the thing: is so I wasn't the biggest fan of the Black Panther movie, but I understood that Chadwick Boseman, and I seen with my eyes that this guy was an amazing actor. Yeah. Just his talent came off the screen and you felt it, and just watching after they announced his passing, watching all the videos that came out of him as just as far as him doing other stuff besides movies, and just you could see his personality, and that he genuinely looked like a good dude that Hollywood didn't really get to him. It's very sad. My condolences go out to his family. That disease touches a lot of people, and it affects a lot of people, and it's a horrible disease. And rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But you could see this guy did an amazing job. And this, let me just say this last thing before I get too emotional, because that disease is, not just cancer has affected my family, and it just brings up stuff that whatever. But just to see what he did for as far as the African American community, because I never thought about it until Black Panther came out, and I seen how people reacted to it, and just to see how they they got a hero with him, and they kind of rallied behind him. Like I said, I wasn't the hugest. I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed it, but just to see how
I have to
people.
step away. My son is acting
Oh,
up. Sorry.
okay. Just to see how people rallied behind him, especially the African American community, how they rallied behind him was amazing, and it opened my eyes to other stuff. And it was just like the guy was awesome. He did amazing stuff behind the screen and in front of the screen. So, rest in peace, condolences to his family and everything. And he will be missed.
No, I hear you, Rob, and for me, I had an early experience with Chadwick Boseman on screen, with 42, Draft Day, and then Black Panther. Well, and actually too his Get On Up, the James Brown movie that he did.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I knew right away that he was something special, like the way he carried himself as Jackie Robinson, and then even the way he played. God, what was the like Vontae Mack, I think is the name of the character in Draft Day. Okay. And he's just really, really good in the way his screen presence and stuff like that. But it's just sad because this is like he was barely getting started. He was like I think like 5 or 6 films in. And he was taking off. You could see where his career was going, and he was something special. Like what you're saying, the work that he did off screen for the communities and for people was special. It was different. It wasn't what you see every day from the people in Hollywood. And so like I started being a huge Dodger fan. I sort of started a tradition after 42 came out, and when I purchased it for a home video, like I'll watch it every Jackie Robinson Day. There's a part in April, early on in the beginning of the season, where I think it signifies the day that Jackie Robinson signed with the Dodgers, where every team in all Major League Baseball, they all wear 42,
right? Yeah.
To how special it was. So every Jackie Robinson Day, I watched the movie, and it's just so happened that he passed on Jackie Robinson Day, so it was kind of hard to watch, and to get through. But it was very emotional, and yeah, like what you said, he meant so much to the African American community, and just kind of bringing representation to the screen that
right,
they finally have their hero that they can look to, and be inspired by, and so it was sad to hear of the passing, so unexpected. I know that the family and him, they kept everything private,
right?
But To lose one, yeah, it sucks, man, and yeah, I can't really say enough about Chadwick and all that he's done, and to our listeners, I mean, God, if you know family members or whatever, be there for them, and be there for yourself, if you even have like family history, get yourself checked out early, and try to beat this thing, and because cancer sucks, and I think. It's safe to say that we all kind of know somebody that's been affected by it. So, yeah, I mean, do your part as far as, getting yourself checked, encourage family members to get themselves checked and all of that. Well, anyways, that's a pretty heavy topic, Rob. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring us down.
No.
It was so bad that Daniel had to leave.
I know.
It was too heavy for Daniel. But, no, it was some great topics talking with you, Rob, and appreciate it.
Good stuff.
Guys, for those of you watching at home, why don't you comment down below and let us know what you thought of any of the topics that we covered today here at Real Talk. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, share. Also, if you have like a topic that you may want us to cover, why don't you comment down below and let us know about that. Also, follow us on Instagram at On The Fence Movie Reviews for all that awesome behind-the-scenes content.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.